Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to show you how to use WordPress's spacing controls inside of Astra. Okay, so in a previous video, we've messed with our header and menus over here and our logos and stuff, and you can see that this section over here is kind of far out. Our site title and site tagline occupy 4 lines here, and they have some space off of the logo here, and we could make it occupy only 2 lines, or only three lines, that is. And we'll use this area here as our main example, as it's kind of easy to see the changes that it would make. But these spacing controls work for basically everything on a WordPress site that you can customize it on. So let's head over to our customizer, either by clicking on Customize here, or heading over to our dashboard and hovering over Astra on the left sidebar and clicking on Customize. Okay, so this will probably be a really short video, as spacing controls are basically the same for every single element in our WordPress and in Astra, for that matter. So let's go ahead and take the first step, which is to adjust margins. Okay, so there's 2 things. Let's go ahead and explain the differences, though, since we have 2 things to talk about when it comes to spacing in general. Let's go ahead and click on the pencil icon over here on this button, and we are now customizing this button. If we clicked on Design and we scroll down, we have spacing, and we have both padding and margin. Padding is what creates space within a block, and margin is what creates space around or outside of a block. So let's put this button beside the menu here in this area. Okay, and let's say we also have these 3 options here. Let's say we adjust them. We have pixels, we have EM, which is a factor derived from your font size. So if your font size was bigger, let's say as big as our header here, the number that we put here would be proportional to that. And we have percentage, right? Percentage to the block itself. So let's put a margin of... Okay, let's link it. Let's put a margin of 45. And you can see the space that ends up taking place, ends up appearing here. And you can see that the text is now squished and it's now vertical. If we put a margin of 5%, 5%, it squishes our text also, but it stands it off from our primary menu over here. And real quick, let's go ahead and do 66, and you can see the space is really great. And let's try to do negative numbers. It doesn't work. So 0 is the smallest we can go. Let's try to do 5. Okay. And now let's take a look at padding. And let's link all of these, and let's put them all to 0. Watch what happens. Okay, let's just refresh it real quick. And you can see that the text is so small inside, well, it's overflowing from the container itself. So let's put the margin back to 0, and let's refresh it and see how that looks like. And it's now even, and it's in line. And let's bump up the padding one by one. 5%. Unfortunately, it doesn't refresh automatically. That's just how this preview works. Okay, and we can add more. Let's say 15. And we can go as high as, 88. And let's see how that looks like. Whoa. Okay, and we can add more margin here. Let's say 15%. And a while ago, you saw that it was somewhat proportional. So let's go ahead and put 15 and unlink it. 30, 30. And let's refresh that. And conversely, we can do 30, 15, 15, 30%. Okay, and you can see the text changes position. Now let's do it for pixels, and we can fine-tune this to make it wider. And let's remove our margin for that matter. And we can make these 0, I guess. And this is what happens. Now we want to bump it up a bit, so let's put it to 5. See how that takes it. Okay, and let's put this to 5 as well. And it should still be pushed out. Right? And let's do 5 here, and then margins 5 on everything. How about we remove that? Okay, so why do we want to use spacing controls besides making the button size smaller or bigger or taller or larger? Well, let's say one of the key ones is we have our desktop icon here, and if you clicked on that, we are now on tablet and we're now on mobile. Let's take a look at our site title and logo over here and see how it's a bit more evident, because once we transfer to mobile devices, it turns into, our menu turns into a hamburger icon. So let's focus on this, and we have our spacing here. And if we put that to 0% and refreshed our site, watch what happens. This comes in line and it takes only 3 spaces, right? And what happens if we transitioned over to mobile? Okay, our transparent header is disabled, of course, but we can see that it takes 2 lines. Now, to make our site more responsive, that is, to make it adapt to mobile devices better, we can go ahead and introduce some margin spacing to our elements here. And now we get more space here for the hamburger icon. And we can add some space to that. And we can do it from the right here. If we do, go back to design over here. If we do 5% and then refresh it from the right, maybe a bit more, or maybe on the wrong side, that is. Oh, okay. Well, let's link all of them and make it 15 and see where that takes us. How about 25? Make it a bit smaller. Okay, my bad. So I figured it out. It was just... let's make it a bit bigger. It was just, we had to put a negative value. Oh, and we accidentally did that. Let's put it all to zeros here. Okay, unlink it. I'll put it to negative 75 here. And you can see that because we've adjusted our site title and tagline here, we now have more space, and we were able to move our hamburger icon inside just enough. It might be a bit too big. Let's see. All right, it's a bit too big. Just enough so that our hamburger icon appears in a place that's more convenient for our users to click on. So you'd want to adjust your elements on the global settings here with the spacing options to make it easier for our users to view our website. Now, if you went back to our main site here, you can see it looks different now, and we have different spacing, just because we want our users to be able to use it better on desktop. So once we're happy with our changes here, we can go back to our live site, refresh it, and see how different it is. So if you didn't want to have a big call to action button here and you wanted to put it in line with our other menu items here, you could do so. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to help our channel out. And to help the YouTube algorithm show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.